Okay.
We came here, and it was about 3 months that we stayed at Goodwood Station.
You stay there outside for 3 months?
Yes.
At Goodwood Station?
But the first person that asked me for business,
Okay.
that attempted to ask me for business, was the shop owner around the corner.
The shop owner.
He was a Zimbabwean.
Okay.
I told my husband about this man that told me he will give me money to for business, and he'll give me 200 rand if I give him 2 minutes of his time. So I told him. So my husband said, "No, why didn't you go?" So I told.
Hello, mommy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
I'm good. You're fine.
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
What is your name?
My name's Lucretia.
Lucretia.
Yes.
Lucretia, are you from here?
Well, yes, I was born here in Tigerberg Hospital.
Okay.
And my first year, I was alive. Until 1 year old, I stayed in Ravensmead with my parents. And
stay in?
Ravensmead.
Ravensmead, okay.
It was my parents, and then they bought a house in Mitchell's Plain.
Okay.
And there I spent the rest of my life until I was 25. Got married and moved to the northern suburbs, to Blackheath. And when I had my second child, by then my husband started working.
Okay.
A couple of years later, we had some problems with my two daughters around. My husband had to go to rehab, and then
he had to go to the rehab.
Yeah. Then obviously that left us alone, and I didn't have a job at the time because he was our provider at the time. So I then went to my aunt and asked my aunt if she doesn't want to keep my two daughters for me, and she did so. And then
she didn't want to keep.
No, she did.
She did keep your.
Yeah, she told me that I should come back and come fetch them when I have a job.
Okay.
And a payslip, and also a place that I'm staying in. And at least I paid for 3 months still. Then only she will allow me to take them back completely from her. But it was never written on paper. It was always it's a family member. It was my mommy's brother's.
It was just the agreement, like.
Yeah, it was a family agreement, yes, to help me.
Like a verbal agreement.
Yeah, a verbal agreement between my aunt and my uncle, my mommy's baby brother and his wife.
Okay.
And so then I came to my grandma who lives in Vasco.
Okay.
And my grandma, I didn't know at the time I was pregnant with my last child, which is my son, Luke. Luke is 8 years old today.
Okay.
Now, I was pregnant with Luke, and then my grandma didn't want me and my husband to sleep there at a place because the tenants had all gotten a letter stating that they they must be informed if there's going to be any visitor of any tenants there, because there was a couple of break-ins by my grandma's flat.
Okay.
So there was rules around it, so she couldn't, obviously. But then anyways, moving on. So I went to Goodwood Station. I climbed off on Goodwood Station. She lives on Vasco. Okay. So I climbed off on Goodwood Station because we missed the Mitchell's Plain train to go back to Mitchell's Plain where we come from. Okay. Me and my husband. So we returned back to Goodwood and found a little spot for us to sleep on. That spot led us to the main road.
So when you came from the rehab, you guys found yourself on the street?
No, yes, so to speak, yes.
Okay.
Because family members, we had lost our place that we lived in, and our family members felt that it's time for us to, I was about to divorce him, see? Because his side of the family was always very nasty with me.
Why you wanted to divorce him?
Because his side of the family is always nasty with me.
They didn't
and he was always hanging on his mother's skirt. You know what I mean? And the seam of his skirt. He was always saying his mother was always being back up. But anyways, so I just decided I want to leave him. But then we found out I'm pregnant, so we were stuck together. Again. We stayed since I was 5 months pregnant when we came here. And it was about 3 months that we stayed at Goodwood Station.
You stayed there outside for 3 months?
Yes.
At Goodwood Station?
But the first person that asked me for business
Okay.
that attempted to ask me for business was the shop owner around the corner.
The shop owner.
He was a Zimbabwean.
Okay.
His boss resided in Belleville, but he was constantly alone
Okay.
in this shop, always with a worker that is with him. You know, someone that is on the floor
Yeah.
for him that helps assist the customers and so forth.
Yeah.
But he would also, when he saw me, he says, "Oh my goodness, you're so beautiful." And
Yeah.
at that time, I was very hungry. I had 50 cents on me.
50 cents in
50
you.
cents on me, and I'd asked him if he sold 50-cent chips.
Yeah.
Because when we come from our suburb in Mitchell's Plain, they sold 50-cent chips.
Yes.
So he said, "Yes, we do." And why are you so flushed? Do you need some water or something? So he told me, "See, don't you do business?" So I looked at him and I told him, "Fuck you." And I walked out.
Yeah.
So I went to my husband and I told my husband about this man that told me he will give me money to for business, and he'll give me 200 rand if I give him 2 minutes of his time. So I told him. So my husband said, "Now why didn't you go?" So I told him, "Now fuck you."
Your husband is
My
the one who
husband
said
told me,
like,
"Now fuck you." So I told
just
him,
go.
now you know what,
Accept 2 minutes for 200.
Yeah. And
Oh.
it took him 1 minute. When I went
So
into,
you-
he allowed me into
So
his room.
after you sold that to
Hold
your
on.
husband,
He allowed me into his room at the back, which most people are not allowed to do. He allowed me into his room and he
no,
told me to
let's
sit
let's
down.
go back to your husband.
Yes, my
So,
husband
your
told me,
husband
gave me
said,
permission to do
Just
so.
it's fine.
Yes.
And finally, you agreed also.
I was so upset with him that I walked back.
Oh, you had to walk back.
No, I was upset with my husband at the
Okay.
time for saying that I should go.
Okay.
And so I told him, "Fuck you a real asshole. I'm pregnant with your child. I'm your wife. I'm not your
And you were 5
girlfriend."
months pregnant.
Yes, and I'm pregnant with your third child, which is probably a son of yours.
Yeah.
God help me. It might be, seriously, if I must give birth to another girl, then that means I must have another chance at a son. So to future your legacy, not even mine.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
so anyways, long story short,
Yeah.
I went back to the shop with my tail between my legs, and I told him, "Okay, so what do you want?" So he told
Okay.
me, "I want business.
Yeah.
Go to the back. Go stand at the back because there's clients coming." In the meantime, while I was sitting at the back, he warmed a pie for me. He brought me 2 cigarettes,
Okay.
and he gave me a Coke.
A coke.
Yes, and he told me, "Sit down." Then I sat down. I was so nervous. But from living outside, I had noticed that my hands was black, pitch black.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, how am I going to feel now if I must undress me?
Yeah.
Am I not going to smell? I don't know. So I asked him, when he came in the second time to check on me, he asked me, "Just give me 10 more minutes. I just want to make sure the shop is very quiet. See? So it won't be too long. I'm not wasting your time, I promise you."
Yeah.
So he told me. Then I asked him, may I use some of your liquid, your sunlit liquid? So he told me, "Okay, why?" So I told him, "I want to wash my hands." So he told me, "Okay, it's no problem." So just with his instinct, he must have known that I'm conscious about how I smell.
Yeah.
So he walked towards the door and he stopped at his cupboard and he told me, "Here's 2 sets of women's spray that you might be interested in using."
Yeah.
So I thought, "Oh my God, I must be smelling." But anyway, so I took the sunlight soap and I covered my entire body with it. Quick.
Yeah.
Just ice cold. So, and I rinsed myself off and he caught me when I was done.
Yes.
See, I was done. And because I just used a cloth,
Yeah.
just to wipe myself off. See,
Yeah.
so he had caught me do that. It was very uncomfortable. But anyway, so once he saw what I was trying to do,
Yes.
his respect for me
Yeah.
was then more. Because he told all the ladies that he had been exposed to, the ladies of the night, as he has had various times already. So I was like very new and very fresh. And all the guys in the tire place that was next to his shop was always going on when I passed the tire place, always going on, like calling me, whistling at me, whatever.
So he kept on calling you.
But anyway,
He
so
kept on.
no. I was now inside his room. So this was my first experience.
Okay.
So, so he told me I must take off my clothes and I must lay on the bed. So then I took off my clothes, laid on the bed, and I closed my eyes. And just by looking at me, he came.
Just by looking at you.
Looking at my body, he came.
Huh.
And he told me, you can dress you now.
And he just
Yes.
so he didn't do anything.
He didn't.
Just
He
looking
just
at you
looked
naked.
at me and he said, wow, his hands were still on my legs.
Yeah.
He was still working his way towards, you know. And then I told him, so he asked me, why's your hands over your face?
Yeah.
So I told him, because I'm shy, I'm somebody else's wife.
Yeah.
So he told me, okay, I understand, but you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I smiled still.
Yeah.
And with that, he told me, sweetie, you can get dressed now. You are very beautiful. See?
Yes.
And they
Yeah.
see, so that made me so excited that I came. And I don't have enough time to even come back up again. See,
Yeah, yeah.
even though
But he
I
paid you the money.
off, he told me here's 300 rand, just because. And obviously he fed me and all
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
So by the time I came out of the shop, it was like half an hour later to when I went in.
Yes.
So my husband was like, so what did you do? What did you do? Did you have to do it? So I told him, no, the man just looked at me and he came and I took the money and I threw it in his face and I told him, now feed yourself.
So you took the money.
And I threw it at him and I told him, yeah,
To your
here you go.
husband.
Happy now that another man saw me in that light. See? Because you've always wanted to, what did you want me to be? One prostitute.
Yes.
And then I became a lady of the night. I was
Since
picked up
then
very.
you started doing.
Yeah, I started.
So every
I
time
went to
they
go stand
pay
on
you-
the same corner because the station, Good Station,
Yeah.
there's a space between the wall of the station and the beginning of the station.
Yes.
And then the N1 City taxis used to park there as well.
Yeah.
Then there's these little steps that you go onto
Yes.
before you get onto the station.
Okay.
So you walk on the steps and then you get on the station. Then you walk up the steps, then you get onto the platform.
Yeah.
And then only you can buy your tickets and what.
Yes.
See? So, but the space next to it, there was like a small gap. Say the gap was from the size.
Yeah.
From here, now here's the first house. Eh? This is the station, and up here is the platform.
The platform.
See, so we're on ground now. So we had cleaned that small space out.
Yeah.
I had swept it because God made trees. Certain branches are shaped like brooms.
Yes.
So you were able to sweep with it. And we used cardboard and we used material and we used a lot of things until two neighbors later saw that I'm pregnant and asked if I wanted a mattress.
Yeah.
See, it was a gangster
Yeah.
that wanted to come check who's living on the station. But it became so soft because I was pregnant.
Because you were pregnant.
Yeah. And because we were married.
Yeah.
So, and my husband was very friendly and he spoke to everybody.
Yeah.
There wasn't a human being they didn't speak to. They didn't know him. The train station we didn't charge us to pay for tickets.
Yes.
Because they had charmed Metro Rails Plaza. See? But anyway, so we always used to travel between Paro and Goodwood.
Yeah.
So my husband was a smoker, obviously. That's why he went to rehab. And this is where he used to buy stuff. So I used to stay when he comes to buy. But then he started staying too long here. That's his interest in other girls became heightened because he saw more beautiful ones. And, you know, and he's not even a man that used to be like that anyways.
Okay.
So hello. Anyways, so I lived in there until 8 months. Then a car just pulled up in front of our space that we stayed in. I can't go to the place, but our spot. We stayed at the station, and it had to happen to be somebody that was people that come and check on homeless people.
Yes.
If they don't want a place to stay, and they saw I was pregnant, so they warned me if they're gonna find a baby in the space.
Yes.
If I go give birth and I can bring this baby back to the space, then they're gonna
Yes.
take the child from me.
Okay.
So I told them, okay, now I will go home to my mother, which I knew was still staying in Mitchell's Plain,
Yeah.
by her best friend,
Yeah.
which is my best friend's mother.
Okay.
My best friend lives in Joburg. She's married there.
Yes.
So, and she's got her own hair salon. My mommy trained her to be a stylist
Yeah.
because my mommy used to own one before.
Okay.
But through her grandchildren, she gave up her hairdresser and started looking after her grandchildren, my brothers.
Yeah.
I have only one sibling, and he's 5 years older than me. He was also an addict, but he changed his entire life. So it ended up that he's now divorced because his wife is still stuck on the drugs and just chose to be with somebody else.
Yeah.
After they had 3 children. See. But my brother's staying strong. He comes to visit us every week, brings his kids along. And I mean,
There by the station.
no, we don't live it.
Oh.
That was 8 years ago that I stayed on a station.
Yes.
And once I'd come back,
Then you
my husband got locked up right before I gave birth.
Okay.
Got locked up, and it was because his friend had blew out the smoke out of the hock. And then they kept him there, and he got injured in prison, and there was a bail for him. I didn't know there was bail for him because I didn't know when he appeared. Because I was in hospital, gave birth to a child, and then I couldn't just leave the baby with my mommy. The baby was ringing on me.
Yeah.
So I waited, and until I was strong enough to get a hold of my contact with his boss that he used to work for at the station.
Yeah.
He washed people's cars, man, and this guy helped him start it.
Yeah.
See, at Goodwood Station. So that uncle Francois, he was the one who took me to hospital, and he was the one who fetched me from hospital and took me to Mitchell's Plain to my mommy when I gave birth to my son Luke.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, Chloe and Tatum still by my aunt and uncle, my mommy's baby brother.
And where's Luke?
Luke is with my mother.
By your-
They're living here in Para with me 8 years later. Luke is big and he's beautiful and intelligent, and he attends school here in Para.
Wow.
See, Chloe's on high school. She attends in Blackheath High, and Tatum is attending Tenemere Primary. That's not so far from where they
And
stay.
you're still living with
They're
your
still living with
husband's-
my aunt.
Okay.
See, my husband is now rehabilitated completely.
Okay.
See, for about almost a year now. He looks beautiful and handsome, and he's doing well for himself. But we're no longer together because when we moved here 8 years ago, I must not give birth to Luke.
Yeah.
But we never stayed in Goodwood any longer. Once my husband came out of jail, we moved to Parow.
Yes.
See.
Yes.
Then we got a place in Thornton for a short while, but that's when my mother came to get us, right? With Luke, which was 6 months old at the time. So we moved to Parow, yeah. My mommy was staying in Delft for a little while, but then she came to stay here with us. So I booked a room for her and for mommy and my husband every night. So I'd work for 600 Rand every night for each one to have a room. See, for years. Until my husband became befriended with one of the guys that lives up the road in Smith Street. And his name's Tyron. So they became best friends.
Yes.
So I used to go look for my husband there. And Tyron's cousin became my boyfriend. See?
Oh.
When me and my husband separated. And it's up till today still separated. And me and my boyfriend still till today together. See? So
You are
my boyfriend
together with your
became
boyfriend.
Luke's father. He raised Luke. He took care of Luke. He took him to creche. He taught him.
And you are still with him.
Yes, I'm still with him. See, we live down the road. His name's Gareth. We rent from a guy named Uncle Marius Fayers. We accidentally came to sleep over by a couple that used to rent his garage. And that couple got kicked out because they didn't want to pay. And I paid. See, we made sure that my mom got a place before Luke went to school. A normal place, not like similar to the one that we have, but like a servant's quarters.
Yeah.
So, and it's only 2 roads away from the school, so it's easier for them to access. So
Yeah.
Luke stays with my mom every day, and I and Gareth stay together. Luke comes to visit, maybe overnight once, because grandparents, once they become the mother, they get very attached.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways.
So,
that's how my
you
story
mean-
started
okay.
and ended.
Does your current boyfriend knows what you're doing?
He met me standing on the corner of where I used to rent the 2 rooms.
Your current
of Bedford.
boyfriend?
Bedford, yes. He had been released out of jail from car theft. He met his brother, see, and then him and his friend. And it ended up that he had to take the fall for it because his friend had run. See, had ran.
So does he not
And-
get jealous when he see you?
Very,
maybe
very, very jealous.
having
And
several
various
men?
fights, and it's got a real knock on your relationship sometimes
Yeah.
because that gives them the strength and the ability to, or rather the go ahead for them to go and cheat.
Yeah.
See, in their way. So
It's not easy.
it's
Having
not
a boyfriend you
easy.
stay with and
Yeah.
doing this job.
No, it's not easy at all. It's
So,
most difficult, actually.
do you have any regrets?
Yes, I do. I regret not working
Regret not working?
because I am equipped with a um a junior administration degree, so I can work for a company. My last job that I had was working for a doctor in Mitchell's Plain.
Okay.
With my second child, I was working there. So I was his receptionist and his dispenser.
Okay.
So I would dispense his medicine to the patients that he sees.
Okay.
I worked from 4 o'clock the afternoon until 10, 11 at night. That's the amount of patients that he had in that suburb every night.
Yeah.
Because some of them were just for certificates because they stayed out of work, you know?
Yeah.
So his busiest days was Mondays and Wednesdays. And then Thursdays was media business.
Yeah.
But that doctor saw that I was very clever. So I worked for him for the longest of
you
all
said-
the girls that worked for him ever.
Yeah.
And he knew my mother because my mom's hair salon used to be next to his.
Yes.
So,
you said you have 3 boys or there's
no,
a
I
girl?
have 2 girls and 1 boy.
2 girls and 1 boy.
Chloe, Tatum, and Luke.
Would you?
Chloe and Tatum was never exposed to this lifestyle ever.
Yeah.
They are used to the normal standard lifestyle.
Yeah, okay, that's nice.
And
So yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about your daughters. Let's say if tomorrow, after tomorrow, you see them on the streets doing the same thing, how would you feel?
it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. I'm lucky in that sense. It wouldn't happen because, unfortunately, no, fortunately, they were not exposed in that manner. So,
Okay, that's very good. Any last word, please?
well,
Any advice
to anybody,
young
don't do it.
people, to anybody
Don't do it. Just
From-
don't
okay.
start because you're never going to stop.
from your life
See?
experience, being homeless?
From my
staying
life
on the
experience being
streets?
homeless, you meet a lot of great people, very, very good people, but you also are exposed to a very dangerous
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky through the 2 kidnaps that I've had, which was the same person,
Okay.
2 years apart, brought me home safely and dropped me where he found me because I cried too much over my kids.
Oh.
See, I was in tears over them. And I cried so about that he couldn't help but bring me back. And for the normal standard guys that try to rape you and rob you, my kidnapper gave me the equipment, the mindset, the feeling,
Yeah.
to initiate when it's gonna happen to you, to feel it, to feel that when you touch that car's handle, that this is not the right person to be with. Or when you're in that car, make sure that you get out of it as fast as you can, because the setup, the sound of his voice, that with anything he says, there's triggers that you have. There's a lot of triggers. There's a lot of signs that can save a lot of lives. See, and to be able to take note of a car. Same face, same. And I mean, my kidnapper picked me up twice, 2 years apart. I didn't recognize him the second time, up until he drove with me.
Yeah.
See, because he's able to speak English, Afrikaans, and he's able to speak high-class English. He's able to speak very, very, very bad English, like he didn't go to school,
Yeah.
or gangster language. He's able to speak all of it, all of it. He can adjust to his crowd of people.
Yeah.
His dress code, he can dress smart casual, then he can dress down and out and whatever. But he says that is what jail taught him. He was 5 years in jail and he hated being there every day of his life. And the reason why he took me today was to teach me how to see, to pick up when you are in danger. Because
So
I
he used
shouldn't
to-
be
he used
doing
to
this
kidnap
for a
you
living.
and drop you back.
He dropped me back on the same spot without a hair
So what was he
hurt
doing?
on my head.
What was he
On my
doing
head.
with you?
You see, he gave me the tools I needed to survive on this road.
Oh,
See,
so it was.
he taught me a
he was
lesson.
not a bad
He-
kidnapper.
actually, before me, he had murdered 2 ladies.
Ah,
One was chopped up and put in the fridge. Other one was on the railway. And he had kidnapped 4 or 5 of my friends. But the youngest one, which I had warned about him very badly. I told her, if you see that car, you do not get in that car. And she told me, why? And she was so drugged, man. And she was 18 at the time. See,
Oh.
they had lost their mother just 3 years before that. And they were dealing with it, and their father was got a new girlfriend with a new baby. And, they felt, and they were all girls. With just one boy, 4 girls, 1 boy. And I mean, she's getting another baby, and so all the attention's on the new baby, and daddy's working most of the time, trying to hold up his head for the 4 girls, the son and the new baby with a new girlfriend. And so what they do is they go next door, whole time, they go next door. So the guy next door, told him, I tell you what, why don't you just take a jump, man? And oh my goodness, don't the children are easy takers on what you say because they believe in everything you say.
Yeah.
So, lo and behold, what do? They go stand on the corner and they white. They from white culture, so and they go jump. And then I went crazy mad. I went to that guy and I said, "What in arsehole are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you putting them on the road?" So he said, "So they can work for me." So I told him, "You're such a pig." But anyway, if this one of these girls are going to get hurt, I'm going to come for you very bad, you see. So she got picked up by Brandon, and it was the guy's name. His real name is Brandon. But she was strong. See, he had raped her, yes, unfortunately, because she didn't abide to everything that he had asked her to do, which I did abide. I just couldn't hold back my tears, which I apologized for. And the second time that he let me out of his vehicle, I reminded him who I was, that he had me before, and that he had dropped me. And he got such a fright. He told me, "Lucretia, you allowed it again?" So I told him, "But this time I knew that I was with you. I knew that I was with you, and that I was going to be dropped off at home again." See? So once again, thank you, Brandon, for letting me go and for not hurting me. So God saved me in that way.
That's a sad story. Thank you, Lucretia, for your story sharing.
It's a survival of the fittest
it's a
story.
survival.
It drains you completely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have energy at night.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's time to
keep
fall
well, keep strong. God
Thank
is
you.
with you, and
Thank you.
the
I
future is
do know
bright.
that I know through my experiences. Because all I could ask God is, there was a night that a guy picked me up, that another girl robbed him, and he picked me up after her, and you know what happened? He wanted to kill me. Shoo, his hand was around my throat, and I saw the cop van taking the turn, because when you are working on the road, you know what a van looks like.
Yeah.
Off the top of the chart, you know what a van, even if the lights are off.
Yes.
I saw that van, and one thing I didn't do, which I always do, is lock the door. See, I always lock the door. I make sure I lock the door. That day, I just didn't lock the door. And who sent them after me? My husband. They stopped my husband and asked, wanted to know, "What are you doing, Pedro, if you have a baby?" See, so we know this, that you have a baby, because we worked in Goodwood.
In Goodwood.
See, so we know you. Where's your wife? No, she just lived here with a car. So they followed the car without us knowing, see. And just as he wanted to rape me, and just as he wanted to tell me, "I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna rape you, front and the back, everywhere, every hole you have, I'm gonna cover." Because that girl took all my money, and she took my phone, she took everything, and I didn't even get business from her. See, and I just wanted to do normal business, I didn't want to hurt anybody. So unfortunately, you have to pay for our mistakes. When that van hit the turn, I directed the car door open, and I shouted,
And they came to save you.
and they came to save me, and they put me in the van like I was somebody that did something bad or something.
Yeah.
See, I put me in the back of the van, and they drove up by my husband, and they said, "We can't find Lucretia, and now it's your fault. So we are going to put you in jail now. So you're going to stay in jail until we find Lucretia." So she said, like, "What?" But she just drove. And then as they opened the van, they saw he says, "Come, as you must get in here now, you must get in here." So he saw I'm in the van, so he said, "Lucretia." So I said, they saved me from a kidnap again.
Wow.
And well, so.
That's how you survived.
And many
that's
times my
surviving.
boyfriend had saved my life also.
Okay.
So he's jumped through cars to get me out of the car already.
Wow.
He made me tough,
That's nice.
strong. Whereas I was very fragile, very sensitive with my husband. He could just say something wrong to me and I would cry a month. So,
Thank you very much, Lucretia. It was a pleasure to have a very good conversation with you.
It's a pleasure
Let's hope it's
to
gonna
share my
inspire
story.
a lot of people out there. Thank you very much. I wish you a very, very nice
Wish you to have a
evening.
job. Yeah. And to have a nice evening with my boyfriend.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Lucretia.
Okay.
Okay.